Let's discuss about how to verify the REST API using Postman. Here we have our REST API, user REST API which I have developed earlier, and we are going to start this REST API using node, the file name, and our API has been started. So we can verify this API using the browser. If it is a GET API, we should be able to verify with the browser. So here you can enter localhost 5000 API/users. So you're able to get the user information which is available on the server. That is nothing but John, Jane, Jim. This is the information which I have been retrieved. However, if you want to make a post request, that is nothing but you want to pass the user data to create a new user, that is not possible via browser. For that, we are going to use the tools called as Postman. So Postman is a popular API testing tool. So let's talk about how to install this Postman and setup. If you need to install Postman, we need to go to the Postman website and you have an option to download for your operating system. Select your operating system. It will, depending upon your 32-bit and 64-bit, you should be able to download. So click on that Windows 64-bit and you go and follow the instructions of next. You should have your Postman installed. Once the Postman is installed, you can use in Windows search with Postman. It will highlight you the Postman command and it will open the Postman app that has been installed in your laptop or computer. So how do we do that? Go to the search, enter the Postman and it will open you the app. So here we should be able to verify all possible get, post, put, delete, update, all those APIs you should be able to verify. So let's start with the new get API. So when you say new, it is going to ask, hey, are you going to do for the HTTP API, or couple of other options are available. So you can verify HTTP, WebSocket, GraphQL APIs also we should be able to verify, gRPC and MQTT. There are many things which you can work out, but we'll start with the get for now. So here in this you have get, post, put, delete and all. Let's start with the get. So what is our API? It will be HTTP localhost 5000 / API / users, and we can hit this send request. And if you see here, there are a couple of options are there. Like if you want to add any query, you should be able to build those query parameters, and if you have any authorization information. So there are a couple of authorizations, like you can use bearer token or JWT bearer, or you can use basic authentication. These are a couple of authentications for your REST API to handle it. Authentication means you will not be able to call directly, so you should be authenticated first, get the token, and you should be able to pass those token. For example, if you use bearer authentication, then it will ask you to enter the token. Like it would have got, once you authenticate the username and password, it will give you the token and you should be able to put that token here. Once you put that token, then only you will be able to like your server will take that token, it will validate whether it's a valid token or not, then only it will go and respond the data. So for now we don't have any authentication, that's the reason we'll say no auth. Okay, if it's a basic authentication, then you have to enter your username and password and then it will go and put it to send it to the server. So at this moment we don't have any authentication, that's the reason we'll say no auth. And there are a couple of other things like whether you want JS and other options are available in the headers, and as it's a get request, you will not have any of the body and other stuff, so you should be able to have some test also written in Postman. Okay, now what we do is we'll directly go and hit the send request. Now if you see here, we have got our response. We got our response here. So in ours, we are able to see our response data, whatever has been retrieved from the server here, which has John, Jane and Zim, and we can even verify what is the status. So whenever the response is successful, you should be able to see the response as 200. Okay, now imagine we are going to send a different, like the API which doesn't exist, and let's try to go and hit send. So now if you see here, we have got error page, and again if you see the status is come as 404, not found, in the sense it says, hey, I'm not able to I'm not able to find that API on the server side. That is what is happening for the if you call it invalid API. At the same time, imagine your APIs requires authorization and you don't pass the authorization, or even if you pass the invalid token, that time you are going to get bad request, or 401 unauthorized. You are going to get unauthorized bad request. So you should be able to verify what is the response code, whether the status code is returning successfully or not in case of using Postman. Okay. So this is on the get part. So we have installed the Postman tool, and we have verified the get request, and we have seen what is the response, like if you hit a invalid endpoint, how it will happen, and if you don't give the right credentials, how it will happen, all those stuff. So yeah, we have to verify the status code, we have to verify the response body, and we have to verify the response headers also. And when you want to verify the post request, so we have to select the method as post. So when you try to make a post request, you have to select the method as post and enter the URL. In your case, it will be http localhost users API/users, and to pass the user information, you need to select the body section. Inside the body section, there are a couple of options which are available, and we are going to select raw and JSON as the format, and we have to go and click on send. Let's go and try to see how our send request will look like. So we need to enter all our fields of username, email, phone number, password, and all those stuff into our API. So let's get back to our JSON. So now we are going to create a new request and say HTTP. This time we are going to select this as post instead of get, and our API will be HTTP. Yeah, so it will be users, and here also we don't have any authorizations. We can go to the body. There are a couple of options which you can send. So if you want, you can send the form data as it is, like in your whatever the forms you have, no name, email, phone number, you can pass them in the individual fields. And if you want them to be URL encoded, yes, you can go and select this option. And if you want to pass as a raw format, like if you say select raw, there are a couple of options available. You can pass a text, or you can pass a JavaScript file, or you can pass JSON file, or HTML file, or XML file. So XML was one of the in earlier days, XML was the considered as the most popular exchange data format between the client and server. Once the JSON has been introduced, it has considered as the most popular exchange format between the client and server. So now we'll go and select JSON. So what we need to do in the body section, we need to go and put our user information. Okay. Okay, let's go and try to enter our name. So you can go and keep name as alias, email, phone, and password. So let's go and try to keep this information and try to hit send. You are able to see now the new user has been added with ID 4 with the name, email, and phone and password. So again, if you observe, the response is also coming as 201 created. So previously, if it's a get request, we got the response as 200, means you got response is successful. When you say 201, yes, something has been created on the server. So means you are saying user has been successfully created, and you are getting that user information back. To verify that whether it is happening properly or not, you can go on again execute the get request. In our previous get request, we are getting only 3 users. Now we should be able to get the 4 user, and again you are able to see the 200 as the OK response. So now we got the response as 200 OK. Whereas for the post, you will get it as 201 saying created. Okay, so you should be able to see the response in whatever the format you want. So you can use the post with we have to pass the user data in the body section, select the raw and select the JSON as a format, and ensure that status code is valid and response body is valid, and if there are any errors when you try to post, that yeah, that errors have been coming properly. For example, if you don't pass the required fields like phone and password, you give with only the user name and email, you should be able to get the responses accordingly. So what we have done, we have on a given REST API with get and post, we have seen how to use the Postman to do the get and post request.